Joe Biden has extended the student loan payment pause because Republicans are attempting, as we speak, and have somewhat successfully for the moment blocked his student debt forgiveness plan. Now, it's temporary. This will be fought out in the courts. Hopefully Biden will end up getting to forgive those student loans for people, the debt that they have. But Republicans are doing their best to fight that despite Biden making that action and all those things. So here's this being announced. He's going to pause or extend the pause, I should say, of people having to make these payments for a little bit longer, actually all the way to June 2023, while this is fought out. And then we'll hopefully get some sort of conclusion on the debt forgiveness, and then this will be unpaused. But here's that announcement.
Folks, I want to give you an update on my student debt relief plan. As Americans continue to recover from the pandemic, my administration has been working to provide student debt relief to millions of working and middle-class families across the country. But Republican special interests and elected officials sued to deny this relief, even for their own constituents. But I'm completely confident my plan is legal. But right now, it's on hold because of these lawsuits. We're not going to back down, though, in our fight to give families breathing room. That's why the Department of Justice is asking the Supreme Court of the United States to rule on the case. But it isn't fair to ask tens of millions of borrowers eligible for relief to resume their student debt payments while the courts consider the lawsuit. For that reason, the Secretary of Education is extending the pause on student loan payments while we seek relief from the courts, but no later than June 30, 2023, which would give the Supreme Court an opportunity to hear the case in its current term. Payments will resume 60 days after the pause ends. I'm never going to apologize for helping working class and middle class families recover from the economic crisis created by the pandemic. And I'll continue working to make government work to deliver for all Americans.
Absolutely. So I think this is the right decision. Would be a little bit odd for people who are about to get their loans forgiven to have to start being forced to pay. And this is also politically a smart move, but here's this being reported on Yahoo. What a complete and absolute surprise. President Biden announced on Tuesday that the student loan payment pause will be extended to June 30th, 2023 from its previous deadline of December 30th, 2022. According to the president, the extra 6 months of temporary relief are intended to give the Supreme Court time to hear the case for student debt forgiveness in its current term. And it is a pretty fascinating move we're seeing on the part of many Republicans, different groups, and we saw politicians, people in power behind this, in favor of it, blocking debt relief that's already been decided upon from the executive, right, the branch that manages that, but then trying to prevent it actually from getting done. And you would think that would be a very politically unpopular move, but we see these types of moves all the time from the Republican Party because they don't think in a situation like this it's justified for people to get that type of relief. But what's odd is even if they don't think it, it really isn't up to them. And I do think Biden and his lawyers and all of this will be successful in actually getting the relief done. I don't think it's against the law or unconstitutional for Biden to forgive debt that the federal government holds, right? That is the federal government's decision. He's directing the executive branch to make that call. And so deciding to not continue collecting that money should be up to them. But of course, people are saying, no, it has to be through Congress and X, Y, and Z. But the actual arguments being made that I've seen from these lawsuits don't hold much water in my mind. And again, I do think Biden will prevail on this. Correct decision there to continue, extending that pause, and hopefully we'll see ultimately the correct outcome with all of this. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.